Hi CC family, I want to give you an update on some of our plans and proposals for how we continue to exit lockdown. A few weeks ago the Scottish Government announced possibilities for churches to open their buildings and to meet together for communal worship, and that opens up a range of different possibilities of things that we can do, albeit with a whole bunch of restrictions that come with that. But we also hear today in Aberdeen that restrictions are being reimposed as there's been a local flare-up of the virus, and suddenly they're not able to do some of the things that they were able to do just even a few days ago. And so we're living in this really uncertain time where things can change really rapidly. We have very little control over the external circumstances. And so we need to find some ways that we can pivot quickly, flex, and find ways of meeting together and fulfilling our mission, recognizing that things can change incredibly quickly. And so we need to have a number of different strategies up our sleeve of what we can do in different situations. I think we're quite clear about our mission. We want to see a Christ-centered community, that community of people that gather around Jesus, because we want to see people fully alive. We want to help people thrive in whatever context they find themselves in, help people to grow and thrive. And this Christ-centered community, these thriving, fully alive people, then sent out to participate in God's mission and to help the world to flourish. So Christ-centered community, to see people fully alive and to help the world flourish. That's our mission. How we do that is going to change depending on the context that we find ourselves in. And so we need something that we can adapt and change, flex really quickly. So this update's particularly about Sundays. I know church is much bigger than that, and there's loads of other stuff going on, and there's loads of other things that we are considering, for example, about revitalising small groups. If you're not in one, we're going to be launching some growth groups in September. Please do consider getting involved in a small group, and the place of technology, youth, children, all kinds of different things that we're exploring. But this update particularly is around our gatherings on Sunday. Zoom's been a really good alternative to meeting together, given that we've been unable to gather in the same room. It's not a substitute for meeting in person, but it has meant that we can continue to connect with each other, to worship, to pray, to open the scriptures, to learn together, grow in our faith. And it's been excellent. It's not been without its difficulties, and sometimes things haven't always gone according to plan. But it's been a great thing that we know that we can always fall back on doing our gatherings on Zoom and then live streaming so that it's accessible, that when the front doors of the King's Hall aren't open very much, but the front doors of the church are open. Because we're out there in the internet live streaming, and that's been a really key and important part of what we've done over the last few months. And we want to continue our learning around the use of technology. So the first stage is we want to set the King's Hall up as a place where we can record, live stream, run a Zoom meeting, which will mean that we can get all the contributors in the same room together at the same time, which will really just help some of the organising and running of our gatherings. And so we're just in the process of buying all the technology, sorting out what we need, and we hope to have that in place in the coming weeks, perhaps by the end of August. And then the next stage of exiting lockdown will be opening up our front doors so that we can have people gathering together in groups of no more than 50. It's going to look very different from what we've done before. There won't be singing. We will need to keep that safe distance between different households. We won't be able to have tea and coffee and hang around much together, but it does give the opportunity that I'm sure many of us will want to do, of just gathering together as part of the CCE family. We will live stream these. So for those that don't wish to gather, you still feel the need to keep yourself safe or that you live further away, or for other reasons that you maybe don't feel able to come together, and we're not going to have everybody in the same room at the same time, we'll continue to live stream these gatherings. And that also means that our reach and our accessibility continues on the internet in ways that I think is really important and helpful. We hope to have these restricted gatherings some point in September, when we can make sure that we can do these safely. There's a huge amount of work which we've been doing lots of, but there's still more to do around just making sure that all the guidelines are being adhered to, and that the space is as safe as it possibly can be for those that are willing and do want to come together to meet in the King's Hall. So hopefully at some point in September we'll do that. We'll give you a bit more details of how we're going to organise that and the starting date of that, and how people will register to come along to those meetings. And for those that wish to continue to participate online, that will be available too. So that's our direction of travel around Sundays. If you've got any questions or comments, please do email leadershipteam@cce.community. As we consider, it would be helpful if you've got any comments or questions to let us know that. And if you're able to help in any way, particularly practically, there's a huge amount of setting up the King's Hall, making sure it's safe, making sure chairs are in the right place for households to be at a safe distance from other households, etc. Then again, please do email office@cce.community. Inca will pick that email up, and any offers of help, that would be great. Do hope to see you soon. This Sunday we're meeting in small groups in our support groups around the city and beyond. So I hope you have a great time, and hope to see many of you before too long.